Okay, welcome to the Beginner's Guide to Pinterest. Here we are going to be talking about one of the hottest social networks available, and of course, just like all the good ones, it's free. And you've probably heard of Pinterest and may have heard some of the younger people talking about it. And if you're a young person yourself, then you should probably join. If you are not, if you're more advanced in age, then you should also join. And that's purely because there's a variety of resources out there that will interest you. So what we're going to do is go to Pinterest.com up here, and as you can see, they've just recently come up with a new homepage actually. It's very simple. Collect and organize the things you love. In other words, it's basically a digital scrapbook. You don't need to know much more than that. So we're just going to click Join Pinterest because we haven't joined before. And I'm just going to sync it with our Twitter account, the Modern Lessons Twitter account. And you can always sign up with just your email address down here, or use Facebook to connect with it. I'd recommend using Facebook or Twitter purely because it's extremely easy to do that. So we'll just click Authorize App and make sure all the stuff that it asks is great for you. We'll just call this Modern Lessons, and the email address is modernlessons@gmail.com. Since we use Twitter, it automatically pulled in our Twitter avatar, which is really fun. You can just select your gender if you'd like. You had already punched in a password there. Hit create account. Okay, so we filled out all of the ridiculous stuff that you need to fill out, and we're just going to hit create account, and it's going to think for just a second, and now it's going to walk us through how to get started with Pinterest. So let's say that we're really interested in celebrities, because who isn't, right? We'll just follow a couple boards. So when I say that, it talks about digital pin boards, and what those pin boards are actually just collections of stuff that other people have put together. So you'll start making your own boards, but you can follow other people's, and that'll populate your stream. So just to take a step back, it's a social network. It's basically your own digital scrapbook, but also other people can view it and vice versa. So put yourself in someone else's shoes, and let's say they've created my favorite people board right here. All you would do is click follow, and now we'll be following that one. So let's say we're also interested in geeky things like Iron Man and vintage comics, because who isn't, right? And let's say finally we are interested in some animals and cute animals. So now that we've done a few, it'll just ask us to do next. So follow 5 boards to get started. And it's just going to think for half a second, and now it's going to bring up all the boards that we just followed. So there's going to be pictures of Iron Man and celebrities and all that good stuff. So we're going to take the tour together here. So we'll just hit take tour. This is your home feed. Pins from people you follow will show up here. So as you saw before, we followed a few boards. That's what the stuff you see is in the background. And you can always find more by clicking the top left button up here, which is sort of your big browse button. And you can start filling out your profile up on the top right. So it's extremely straightforward, and as you can see, Pinterest is made to be easy. It's made so anybody can use it. And as you can see, it took us about 3 or 4 clicks, and we already have a board, or a newsfeed rather, that really is pretty fun to check out. So what happens when you actually click on something? You can click on a comic that interests you or whatever, and you can just click it. It'll load up in a floating window thing, which is pretty cool. But better still, you can pin it right here or like it. What's the difference there? Liking is literally just basically saying that you like it, but it won't get added to any boards or any like thing that you save. It won't be a part of your profile. But pin it, however, if you pin it, that will ask you to which board you want to put it on. We've never made a board, so we're going to call this one Comics. And it already punches in a description for us, so we'll hit Create, and there, now we have our own board called Comics. And we'll just hit Pin It, and there we go. So now we can hit See It Now, and it'll bring us to our Comics board, which is pretty cool. So as you can see, there's not much here. We just have comics. Basically, you can always add pins by going there, but that's not the easiest way to use Pinterest. The easiest way is through the Pin It badge, or the bookmarklet, we'll call it. It's really simple to do. You can do add from a website, and then you just click on check out our bookmarklet. So you may not know what that term is or anything like that, but it's extremely simple to use and important that you try this out. So the pin it button is literally you would just take this button, drag it very slowly up to this part of your browser. So you just hit pin it. And that's it. So now let's go to a completely different site. We'll just go to thehollywoodreporter.com because, as I said, we're interested in celebrities, right? So we'll just go over to Hollywood Reporter, just click on whatever the first article is right here. All right, and now we're going to click that pin it button that we have. So what happens when we click that? We'll just hit pin it, and it'll pull up a new screen. You've probably never seen this before, but basically it now wants you to choose an image that is going to show up on the board. So let's just say this golf one is appropriate right here. So we'll just mouse over that, hit pin it, and it'll ask us what board we want that to be on. So this isn't about comics, so we'll call this celebrities. And we'll just hit create. There we go. And again, this probably looks familiar. We'll just hit pin it. And there you go. So now we're done with the Hollywood Reporter. We're actually just going to go back to Pinterest. And now you can see we have a whole board called celebrities. Pretty cool, huh? So all you have right now is this one pin, but you can always click this pin it button while you're browsing the web, or you can always come back and add a pin directly from your board. Pretty simple and straightforward to do. The most important thing I'd say you now need to know about is finding new stuff on Pinterest. You can click over to this little button right here. Let's say we're interested in technology. It'll show us all the pins that are about technology, and this is basically a really fun way to see what people are looking at, what they're doing online. And it's pretty fun, to be honest. And you can also do searches and it'll do the same thing, kind of like this. So it'll show some slightly different things. So let's say we want to talk about technology quotes, and it'll just show us a bunch of interesting quotes that inspirational people have said. So as you can see, you can scroll. It's unlimited scrolling. It's all really fun. And let's say we just really like this one. We'll just click that. We can hit like, and that'll like it, but that didn't add it to our board. What will add it to our board is pinning it. So again, we'll just create a new board, technology, hit create, and pin it. There we go. So now it is pinned to technology. All right, and that is the basics of Pinterest. So now you have a profile. Make sure you confirm your email, as you can see right up here. It might be in your spam folder, but otherwise you're good to go.